We're live. Did you like how that pause came in there right there? Yo, what's up, guys? Hello. As promised today, I told you we were going to test out some lightener. Yesterday, we had such a great time yesterday. Mikey and I, we rolled up into Cosmoprof. When we got there, Mikey just went bananas, okay, and just bought everything. I was like, Mikey, we just did a few things. Oh, no, it went from just maybe 3 or 4 items to probably about 400 items that we bought. So we wanted to make sure that we stay on track of what we said that what we were going to do for you guys today. So today we're going to dive into testing some color. I was looking at some of the questions that you guys are having on the Facebook, and you were asking questions like, oh, I want to learn about bleach bath. I want to learn about, lightening hair, how to get the hair up, the best way. You know what? All of those things you're going to learn. I'm just going to touch on this a little bit and give you guys just a little tutorial on how to work with these 2 lighteners that we have in here. Before we get into it, this is a beautiful studio that we're in. We are right here in Private Label Extension Showroom. We are right here, and if you see things happening in the background, guys, those are customers. This is real time, real life. Customers are walking in here. We're watching cars go by. It's incredible. So I'm going to start off with doing some lighteners. I didn't even officially say hello. Hi, how are you guys? Yeah, I got a suit on today also. I had to go do a couple of things with Bronner Brothers this morning, which was incredible. We recognized the passing of a legend, Charles Gregory, this morning, which was awesome, hanging out with the tribe from Dwight to Britannica, you name it, everybody was there. Terrence, it was incredible. So the Bronner Brothers show is coming up. Make sure you get your virtual ticket. I'm doing a class there. We are showing you how to do tape ends. So it's really, really fun. So you can see that. And we actually showed you how it works on anyone with curly or with wavy hair. Extra curly, you're kind of reaching, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. But be excited to join us on that class. I think it's at 120 or something. We'll post that. But let's jump right into it, okay? I have here Wella Blondor. It is a powder lightener. It is blue, right? Someone was asking the last time. They was like, oh, there's a difference in using the blue and the white. And again, as I said, manufacturers, you're going to get what you get as far as your lightening. Does the blue kind of help with toning out that hair, that tonal value? I have not seen that happen, okay? I have not. I've gotten great results with a white lightener, a powder lightener, and I've gotten great results with the blue lightener. What shows me the difference is the type of, the brand that you're using. Some brands, the energy is a little bit stronger and work a little bit better for the texture and the formation of the hair. The next one I'm showing is Paul Mitchell. Of course, you know I'm going to always pull out Paul Mitchell because, but it's our Paul Mitchell. It's our synchro lift. It lifts up to 9 levels of lift, right? And so we're going to use this energy that we have today. And I also told you that one of the things that I love to use, especially when we're lightening extensions, I like to jump right in with 30 volume, even though yesterday when we went shopping, we bought many volumes yesterday, just so you guys can see the reaction on the hair there. And then here, we're just going to use 30 today, right? This is us jumping on live. We also have some foil, a roll of foil that we're going to incubate that hair just to see what that end result is going to be. And one thing that we forgot to get gloves, but Xavier said, I got some dishwashing gloves for you. So we're going to use these dishwashing gloves today, baby. Sure am, sure will. So let's get started. First thing is I want to take my Blondor. Now, because I am a professional, yeah? And I say a professional, I am licensed multiple areas. As an educator, here's something that I want to speak to you so you can learn this. A lot of people go, well, I'm just going to eye it and I'm going to dump it and I'm going to mix it. Definitely don't want to do that. Why? It's because whatever you don't use, you're throwing in the trash. Relate that into cash. If you relate that into cash, this is a product that you could put on someone else's hair or another bundle or another wig. So if you're throwing that away, you're throwing away money. We don't throw away money. So you want to use the proper measuring, such as a measuring scoop, or you want to use the proper measuring by getting a beaker and measure it properly. When I say 1 to 1 to 1, that means that we're doing equal amount of each. Okay? So for some of you who are hairstylists, you already know what that is. But for those who don't, equal amount, if I'm using 1 ounce of the powder, I'm going to use 1 ounce of the developer, equal amounts, unless the manufacturer says that you can't, meaning as, oh, well, it's 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2, depending on what energy you're trying to use here. So the next thing is I'm going to grab the developer that goes with Wella, which is our Wella developer, which is 30 volume. And we're going to put this in here. And I do have a whisk to be able to mix. All right. Again, I have eyed it that I know exactly what I need for this. Okay. La 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 la. This is like a cooking show, guys. Yeah. La 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 la. Now I like for it to look like whipped cream. Okay. Do I want it, the viscosity of it to be liquidy? Not when I'm working with my lightener. Again, it needs to look like whipped cream. So I pretty much hit this spot on with this whip it, spot on, okay? So here do we have our Wella, which is our 30 volume. For those of you at home, immediately when you open your developer, seal your developer tight, okay? Oxygen oxidizes and weakens your product. If you were to leave it open, it will not work anymore. It will end up turning into like water, okay? So definitely make sure that you put your lids on tight. You don't want to weaken your product. Good tip for you guys that when you're lightening hair, for those who are, in school or who are not in school, who have not been schooled. If that happens and you go, well, why didn't I lighten it? Your hair is the problem because you put this on and I put lighten on. I do it like I normally do it. And when I did it, it didn't lighten up. So your hair must be the wrong hair. No, you didn't follow your instructions. Okay. So sometimes those tips help you be successful. When you're dealing with the ball material, it's going to come in a bag that's going to be a little bit of a, settle there. I always like to shake up my bag. Yeah. You can keep it in its bag and just open it within its bag, or you can open it and add the powder into your container. Totally up to you, however you want to use it. It's a little less messier if you actually pour the powder into the container. Okay. Less messier, and it doesn't get all over your hands. Just be mindful as you're doing it. Don't shake it out like such, because if you do, that powder is going to start to go back up into your nose. Yeah? It's not a fun feeling when you're having that. Here's something that you want to throw away at that point. I always like to take a little napkin to be on the safe side. Discard that. Keep my area clean. Ooh. We have customers coming in and out, baby. So again, 1 to 1, I'll be taking 1 scoop of this. 1 scoop, just 1 scoop. And then I'll be taking 1 ounce of our 30 volume developer for our Paul Mitchell. Again, I'm eyeing it, but you should never eye it. Yes. No, you should never. Also, you may have something drip down on the side of your container. Clean that off. We always like a clean workstation. Okay? I was watching an event just recently. Not Warner Brothers, but I was watching an event just recently, and oh my goodness, the area was just Ooh, look like a tornado went through it. Okay? So I'm going to use two brushes. Today I'm going to use a red brush. That red brush is going to go for the Wella. And then I'm going to use this silver brush and it's going to go for the Paul Mitchell. Okay? Now I do have angle brushes. These angle brushes are very, very good for when you're doing balayages. Okay? Keeping that in mind, an angle brush is good for doing balayages. The two products that we have today that I'm going to show you, and I'm keeping the products out so you can see them. I used my whisk already. If you're going to use your brush, just be mindful that when you're using your brush, that product may gather in your brush. And if it does gather in your brush, you want to make sure that your brush is nice and clean as you're applying product. What kind of consistency that we wanted, the viscosity and the consistency that we wanted, I'm thinking you guys have already answered that already. If you haven't, I want it like whipped cream. Whip it. Whip it. Now again, I'm a professional. I've been teaching for a long time, working behind the chair for a long time. My eyeing it and keeping that consistent amount of product to get that whip with that. So I've done this many, many times. For those who haven't, save your money. Use your beakers. Use your beakers, use your measuring, use your weights to make sure that you are not wasting your product, okay? At this point, now we're gonna pull out our two different types of products. Our two different types of products that we have here is the first one. It is our Brazilian body wave. I only got 10 inches because that's all I'm gonna use, 10 inches. But we have the Brazilian body wave. Can you get off my hand? Thank you. So with the Brazilian body wave, it's one of our popular sellers. This is where everybody goes to. It's the most familiar one they love. They enjoy this, okay? Brazilian body wave. Some would say that when you're lightening, oh, I'm just gonna lighten a whole bundle. You can, but you also wanna do what I told you before. Let's test it. Let's do a test to see if we're going to get the lightning levels that we need. Don't just go all willy-nilly and just start lightning. We need to test it, okay? We got an extra hand over here helping me out. I want to see it incubated. I want to see it when it is in its lightest position. I want to see what this energy is going to do for it. So I'm going to use a foil to test it. So I take about a little bit over an inch of the foil, of the weft, and I'm going to actually double weft it. Okay, so it's still folded. I'm going to leave it here, and so and such. I want to place my gloves on at this point. I don't want to be safe. Okay. Xavier gave me old tight gloves. She's tight. She's not loosey, she's tight. Loose. Marcus hates when I say loose. All right. So with this, guys, I'm going to take this product. I'm going to show you how you do this. I like to have my product that's centered in my bowl like this. I like to grab a little bit and have my brush. This is a little bit of a dirtier brush is what I like to say because the product goes all the way up to the brush here. I'll show you on the other one how we would have a cleaner brush. At this point, I'll move this out the way so you can see it. Can you see me? I can see you, you can see me. I see you. I take, and if I'm going to do a proper melt and apply this product, I'm going to place the product here and drag down. Okay? I'm going to place the product here and drag down. See how much product I applied onto that bottom section there? This is when I'm trying to do a melt, almost like a balayage or something of that nature. I'm going to apply the product strictly in this area here. And if I want it to melt up, this is why these angle brushes work so well. With that angle brush, I'm going to take this brush and now I'm going to turn it vertically. vertically. This is horizontal when you lay it down horizontal, where you're going to see that hard line that's right there. Okay. I'm going to lift this up because I really want you guys to really see it and learn. Look at that hard line that's right there. It's that hard straight line that's across. That's a horizontal line. I don't want that line. Okay. Because the eye can see a hard line perfectly. Have you ever seen those girls when they lighten hair and when they lighten their extensions and it's like, okay? And so you see where the dark is and where the light is. A perfect blend is when you cannot see where the light begins and the dark ends. It's so blended in, your eye can't really focus. So you have to kind of focus your eye in. Well, to do that is you turn your brush vertically. I know some of you going, baby, this is lessons today. So when you turn it vertically, you slightly pull that hair into the hair that's already lightened. Okay? Now, if you want, you start painting up a little bit. And when you're painting up, you're lightly feathering that hair or that brush up. When you begin to look at it now, as you can see, that line almost dissipates, okay? That's the same look you're gonna get when you are lightening it. So remember, the product horizontally went on here, where I really wanna see all of that light. So I really, really saturated it and got it there, okay? Saturation, saturation. I want it to look like it's icing on a cake. Saturation, saturation, okay? There is my horizontal line that you see there, that saturation, saturation. Now, when I want to, I'm just redoing this. When I want to blend it up, I'm just going to vertically take it and just lightly pull those pieces in. Yeah? When I start to get here, I start to feather up some. Really just pushing that color lightly into that. Still getting it there, but lightly pushing it in. Now, as you start to get in the area closer to the wet, this is where we start to call a hill or a valley. So we'll start to take right in the middle, just a little bit of a heartbeat that takes it a little higher. So as it takes it a little higher there, it's darker here, darker there, and it will begin to be lighter there in the center. Okay? Again, taking a look at that, and you're looking at that as a consumer, as a customer, when you're looking at that piece, it's like it dissipates. The line goes away. Now, I learned this from someone who's a chef, not the dissipation. But when you're doing your foils, there's a dull side and there's a light side. Now, I heard this from a chef. Is it not? Who knows? It just works for me. But when I'm placing my foil, or my hair in a foil, I use the shinier side as my inside and my dull side as the outside. Someone says, well, why would you do that? Well, the chef told me that when you're baking potatoes, sweet potatoes or any potato that you put in the stove, the shiny side goes on the inside, the dull side is on the outside, because the shinier side helps the potato to cook faster, better, evenly. I was like, get out. You gotta stop telling me stuff like that. And so I got it where that light reflects, okay? I got it. So for me, I have just been doing that with my foils as well and getting great results. For me, I've been getting great results, especially for the fact that I work in a well-lit area, okay? Now I'm gonna incubate that. And so there's my incubation. That's me making sure that it's covered. It's making sure that there's no air coming through that. There's air that could be coming through this area at the top here, totally fine. But here where I really want the energy to work, it's completely covered, okay? Some of you use where you just paint on top of a table. Just know that anytime oxygen is involved, it causes the energy of the product to slow down, okay? Causes it to slow down. All right, the next one that I'm going to do. Well, we got two. I want to see what the next result is going to look like. So the next result, I'm going to use another foil. Yeah, if I can get it to come out here. Get out of here. Come on, buddy. There it is. All right, so I have my foil. Once again, now we are going to do another section, and we just used Paul Mitchell. Now I want to use the Wella. The Wella is the red one, so I'm going to move this one to the side. And so here's where that cleaner brush that we have, and that cleaner brush that you have for you to stay clean and when you're working with products. For you to stay clean, place your product inside a little area here in your bowl, okay? And so that way you can work really, really clean. So when you're working clean, you just grab your product at the tip of your brush that's there, and there you have it. Now we're gonna do that horizontal, that's really low, that's here. I want that product to really get there, yeah? I'm gonna grab a little bit more. Remember, icing on the cake. Really saturate there. Look at that, it's covering all of it. See that horizontal line? Now I wanna grab just a little bit more. I wanna turn my brush vertically. And now I want to start just pulling pieces into this so it can just melt beautifully, okay? Melt beautifully. Now, if I were doing this on a real person, my brush would move very fast and I'm feather up, right? If I was doing this on a real person, it would move really, really fast and it would feather up. Now, I'm going to now take this one a little higher on either side. And then I'm going to have the darkness that sits in the middle. So if you could notice with these angle brushes, it helps you to give that dark fall right in the middle of that on either side of this foil. In this particular position, either side, the light is going to go up higher. The inside is going to be darker. If you alternate those when you're doing your foiling or when you're doing your lightening, it gives you a better look when you are, placing this on a guest head. It gives it a more organic look, okay? Then if I want to make sure that the product is really on there after I've created my heel or my valley or my heartbeat or however you want to call it, then I would go back in and really just make sure that my product is on there. Great. Perfect. I got what I need. I see the results. And now you can either place another foil on top of it or you can fold your foil up. If you fold your foil up, if you have lightener that's here, just make sure that that lightener does not lay on top of your area that you just created, which was your heartbeat or your valley. You never do that. So now you're sealing the bottom. You tap. Don't wipe, don't press, don't push, because you move the product around at that point. You tap, okay? So I'm gonna do this side as well, and I tap, okay? Now I have a sealed deal. So there's my two products I'm using for our Brazilian. Now, I'm gonna set this Brazilian over to the side. Please use gloves when you're doing this. It's sanitary, one, also it helps you without getting product on your hand. If you get product on your hand, it will start to eat on your fingers. Yeah, it does. Now we're going to use the Indian raw. And so you're getting ready to see the difference between the two here. With the Indian raw, and you already see with this Indian raw, if you can't see it here, let me let you see it here. Look at that. Now let's zoom over and look at this one. Look at the difference. This has a lighter tint to it already. So with the lighter tint to it, with this Indian raw, there's nothing on it. So that means that it's easier for us to move through and get a lighter result from this. This one, a different result that you're gonna have. All right, we're gonna pop these right here. I think I'm strong enough to pop these myself. If I'm not, then we got problems. I don't think I'm strong enough. Oh my goodness, let me find me a pair of scissors. Hold on. Can I get a scissors? Yes. Scissor. Wow. All right. Something told me to bring a pair of scissors and she's coming. But it's okay. So I know you guys are asking questions. I'm going to jump on those questions. I didn't get to the questions yesterday, but we'll get to them somewhat today. I got some people helping me. The video crew, they're helping me out.
If anyone has questions, go ahead.
Yeah, if anyone has questions, go ahead and ask me right now while I'm waiting for a pair of scissors to break this. Yes? Hola, ¿cómo está? What's up? Somebody's probably trying to formulate a question right now. Baby, when I say this Indian here, the band on this is legit. Bands. It's legit. Baby, it's on here. All right. Did we get a question that came through over there?
Not yet.
Huh? Baby, y'all just watching and looking. Okay. Looking and watching and looking. Amen. All right. Of course, I want to unravel it a little bit. Right? I have. One thing I do like about the Indian raw is that when you unravel it, it almost comes out as if it's like in a 3-ply, double-ply roll. And so you have to really open it up like that, like such. Like you have to really open it.
Dallas, we have a question.
Ooh, I have an answer.
Do you have a desired level, or are we seeing how high they lift?
We are seeing the lift levels that we can get, or the amount of lift from the energy that we're using for the 30 volume for the product, which is the 9 levels of lift that we get for the Paul Mitchell Synchro, and then the levels of lift that up to, I believe it's Wella, up to 7 levels of lift that you can get into Wella. So we're just trying to see the energy that we can use to get a great lift today, and then be able to show you the end result of those lifts for one-time lifting with the Brazilian and with also the Indian raw. So the last time we started out with the Paul Mitchell. Now we're going to start out with the Wella, okay? So we're going to start out with the Wella. I'm going to grab some product. We have that double. We're going to place here as we see. Now, mind you, again, this energy that you see on this, on the Indian raw, it's going to be totally different than the energy that you see on that one. Totally different, okay? Also, this level, it's already at about 4, okay? Some of these pieces in here kind of goes up to like almost, look, some of these go into that 6. Look at that. So you don't have much to work with that one. This one's going to live quickly. Again, we're going to take that part sideways. And we're just going to feather that in. Some would say sideways. I like to say it's vertical. And this technique is causing you to make the line, that harsh horizontal line that was living here, dissipate, okay? In this trick, you can, again, do a higher space in the middle, leave your sides dark, or you can do higher lights on the sides and leave your middle dark. I would suggest alternating those when you are working with your foil. This is going to give it a more of a, again, organic, lived-in, natural lifting look. As we get to going through some other classes, I'm going to show you guys where you can use product on this, and you'll be able to spray product here. One of the products of Paul Mitchell is our Pui Moisture Mist. That our Pui Moisture Mist dilutes this product, causes it to slow down some. So of course, your level of lift here will be slower. Your level of lift here will be higher. And so it's going to give you an automatic, beautiful blend of an ombre that's there. Remember the shiny side to the shiny side. I'm going to place it on. here. I'm gonna fold here. As I'm gonna fold here, I'm gonna tap. I'm gonna fold on this side. Get that. I'm gonna tap. Do not wipe down. Do not all that. It's not necessary. You're spreading product. You're moving product from where you just placed it. I want to make sure that it's airtight on these sides, because on these sides, I know the product lives in the middle here. All right. Now, if you wanted to, this is what I'm going to show you on this one, which is different from the other one, from the Brazilian. If you will, if you wanted to, and you are doing a lightning service, one of the things you could do is leave one piece of hair out, living in its natural state. Take the next piece of hair and you lighten that piece. So now you're going to have hair that's not touched, living in its natural state, and then you're going to have hair that is touched. So one skip, one skip, one skip, one skip. And that's you giving just a lightning technique that's going on through the entire bundle there. Okay? When you place that bundle in, just be mindful that when your last bundle that you're placing at the top, that area is an area that you really now focus on lightening properly. One of the things that I like to say is when you're lightening properly for that one, I generally leave that last little good strip out. Especially if I'm doing a sew-in, I leave that one out, and that one I will lighten by itself, because that will be my surface one there, because I want to control that. I want to control where I place that lightning. All right, we're going in with our horizontal. We're using now that Paul Mitchell 9 levels of lift. Look at that, looks like icing on the cake. That's what I want it to look like. That's that consistency. Icing on the cake, baby. Give me that cake, cake. Oh yeah, okay. And then I'm going to take, and I'm going to just feather that in. Hope you guys can see that. I'm going to feather that in. Now, another thing that you can do that I'm going to show you here in the feathering, you got to have gloves on for this, guys. Another thing, your finger. I know, it sounds weird. The finger. You can take your finger, and you might want to zoom in on this. Take your finger and just wipe it in, right? And that way, it's going to mesh that product in some. And that's how, and you're going to have to wipe your fingers off every time you do it. You have to wipe your fingers off, because you don't want to pick up hair and have that product on hair here, because then you will have holidays. Holidays are calico cat spots. Okay? Once you place that there, again, I've got my folded foil. We have now done 2 techniques on 2 different products, and I'm going to fold this up under. And now, with this 30 volume, with this incubation, now you want to see what that energy is going to do. So again, living clean, having a clean workstation. Here's where your bowls are. Your product lives here inside this area here. This is what that product should look like, okay? As that product begin to sit out for a little while, the oxidation of that will begin to make it rise. Rise like a cake, baby. Rise like a cake. Okay? That's the oxygen, it being oxidized in here. It means it's working. Okay? Now, let's go back and check our product that lives on the Brazilian. So looking at the Brazilian, the first one that we used on the Brazilian is, we went first with the Paul Mitchell color. So looking at the first part of the Paul Mitchell color, this is just the results of it. I think it's been about 12 minutes, if I can count right. I think I am counting right. The 12 minutes, I want to look at the color result. I'm looking at it. Look at that. Look at that energy that was used there. I will tell you, anytime I open it up and I see that it's starting to dry out, I add a little bit more product. Okay, I add a little bit more product. Remember what product you're using when you're working with stuff, that I'll add a little bit more of that product that's there. But it's lightening well. It's doing well for that amount of time that we've been here. It's lightening well. So this lightening was about the level of some of these pieces that are here. Okay, this lightening. Now, guys, when you're lightening hair, make sure you get a true reading of that color, that lightening surface. To get a true reading of that, you have to take some water and get that off, okay? You can't just wipe it off. You got to take some water to get that off. So if you believe that you're in a great area, take some water, squeegee it off. Water bottle, squeegee it off. Take your paper towel, pat that hair. Don't wipe it. Pat that hair, and then look at it in proper lighting, such as look at it in natural light, sunlight, or nothing like warm lighting in that, because if you look at it in warm lighting, everything is always going to look yellow. I mean, it's going to look as mustard as this. Every time you see it, you're going to go, well, it's too yellow. Well, you're in warm lighting, okay? Make sure you have natural lighting, white walls when you're doing that, just so you can check that end result. Let's look at the one that is the Wella one. Looking at the Wella. Let's see what she look like. Is she good? Baby, with these dishwashing gloves, it's kind of hard for me to maneuver with these dishwashing gloves. Okay, with the Wella, the energy is good. It's not as much as the previous with the Paul Mitchell, but it's still lifting very, very well. I'm just gonna place a little bit more product on it. It's not lifting as the other one has lifted, but it's still lifting, and the energy is working well. Okay, so I'm gonna reseal that, place that back on. Again, I would say that's been on for about maybe 9 minutes of that. Now, this one was, we started out with the Wella first, okay? Whenever you're working, you always want to remember what you do. So this is why I didn't do the same thing on this one. I did something different on this one, because that's how my memory works, okay? So I started out with the Wella on this one first. Let's look at the energy on this one. Look at that. It's already starting to turn blonde. It's already starting to turn blonde. Like it's already starting to turn blonde. We're looking at about a level 7-ish that's happening down here. Yeah, we're looking at about level 7-ish on those. Look at that. Those ends are looking a little level 7-ish. That's great. All right, I'm just resaturating. That's all, just resaturating, because I've just opened up. This has been on for about 7 minutes. So I like to do a quick check of 1 as I'm doing a test. And I'm going, all right, 7 minutes. It's been on about 7 minutes. And it gave me about a level 7. If this was on for about 22 minutes, that's, 7 a couple of times. Plus 1. And so that energy of that, it allows me to understand how I can walk away from it, okay? Now, whenever you're lightening hair, you don't just walk away. I have worked with people, and they have walked away from some hair before. They went smoke cigarettes, they didn't had full meals, they didn't want to go get some chicken. They didn't do a lot. In this, guys, you don't. You have to be mindful. You got a guest sitting there if you're working on a client instantly. You got a guest sitting there, or if you don't have a guest sitting there, you need to really watch it so you can make sure you're not damaging the integrity of the hair. This is hair that you pay for. Look at this one. This one is, again, living about a level 6 already. So look at that. It's lightening in that level 6-ish, 6.5-ish there. I'm just going to reapply a little bit more. But it's already giving that energy. Now, that Paul Mitchell Synchro, 9 levels of lift, that energy of 30, that 30 is on either one. You saw it doing a little, it's a little working. Do I love it? I love all types of products, being able to test them and see what they do, how they work. So for the best result of this has been about, like I said, about 6 minutes. So I'm thinking, hey, if I do, 6 minutes of this, is 18 minutes of that. What level of lift am I going to get in about 18 minutes? Will it still be in that warm state? It could be, but I'll check at that point. But now I'm going, it's about a level six-ish, six-ish. So 6 minutes, to pressure on. 6 minutes, if you add about 3 to that, it's about 18. I'm checking at about 18. I should be about a level 8.5-ish, almost 9-ish. That should be good at that point. So, what questions do you have as we're waiting for this to process? I hope this is good for you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying it. But I'd love to answer these questions for you. And Mikey and I will get no dishwashing gloves. We will get regular latex gloves for me to use so I can grab the hair properly.
One question is, what toner would you use to get rid of brassy tones?
It depends on the level that you are working with. So if it's a brassy tone, what's your idea of brass? Would it be that your brass is orange? If your brass is orange, taking out orange is blue. If your brass is, you're looking at a yellow, taking out yellow is violet. And so using some tonal value, it doesn't necessarily have to go, this is the product, this is, I'm going to use this product, I'm going to use that product, this product works better. It's you understanding what you're needing in the color map to take out and cancel out what you need. So if you are going to cancel out that yellow, a violet works well, finding something like a violet shampoo, or finding a product that's more opaque if you want to have a little bit more control. Find a violet product that has a little bit more color molecule in it to take out that yellow, or a little bit more color molecule of the blue to take out that orange. Okay. What other questions do we have so far? I hope that answered the question. I think you wanted me to answer the question of which one I would use. I will tell you that some of my favorites in the industry are, believe it or not, because I am Paul Mitchell. Yes, I am. And I love my Paul Mitchell. Don't get that twisted. I do. But I will use a Redken Shade ZQ. I will grab that in a minute. And why would I grab that in a minute? Is because that Redken Shade ZQ shows me the result I want right there. Right there. Instantly. So as soon as I put it on, it's, oh, there it is. When I'm using anything of my Paul Mitchell brand, especially when I'm using such as the Demi or something of that nature, when I'm using that, what's the other one for my Paul Mitchell? It's the Demi, and then can you just say the word? Well, not the extra, but I like that. But you can tone with your color also. PM Shines. That was the one I was looking for. When you're coloring with the PM Shines or you're coloring with your the Demi is more opaque than the PM Shines, but it's a 20-minute process. Sometimes in our salon and behind the chair, I want to see it right then. So that's why I choose to head to that Shade ZQ. Any other questions?
Here's a question. What's the average level that raw hair will live to? I'll say Indian raw because I know the Vietnamese raw has an entirely different porosity.
Oh, I must be talking to a hairstylist because the Vietnamese hair, it's more coarser. So it's thinking of a master plan. Let's think about it like this. That strand of the raw would look something like about this. Individual strand would look something about like this here. That Vietnamese one strand would look something like this here. So many coats of cuticles that you have to get through. That's a lot of energy. So it's going to take a lot of energy to get through that, to process it, to have it to lift up. For the Indian raw, I get lighter results with the Indian raw. I can get the lighter results in my Vietnamese, but I may have to do it a couple of times. And so instead of me trying to rush to it by throwing, 40 volume and yada, 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 and gassing it up and really getting it there, I can get it there and I'll walk it there safely to get it to my levels of 10 if I need to. I will get about a level 8.5, 9 just in my Indian raw. So if you're looking to take it with that blonde, yeah, I'll get that in that Indian raw. Here's the thing though, you've already heard it. It's better to walk the color down. So to walk it down, you will be choosing a 613 and you will be getting whatever color that you need at that point. If you're really trying to lighten up some hair, just go on and, jam out, blast out and get you a 613 and get the blonde you need. And then you just tone out what you need to tone out, whether you get the Russian blonde or you dip it in some violet. You just tone out and get you, baby, you a bright blonde then. Go with that. If you're really focusing on getting that. If you're really trying to give that more natural look, we have variations of blonde that's in there. I suggest going with your Indian raw because you're going to get your best lightening lift from that. If you're not, really strong in your lightening skills. If you are strong in your lightening skills and you enjoy that Vietnamese look, then go with that. Just remember a couple of times to get it to that lightest light that you need. What other questions? You guys are asking good questions too, like really questions.
What product would you use on gray resistant hair?
Ooh, so gray resistant hair to color it or to product wise? If I'm coloring it, I always like to use a product that's going to give me a little bit more stronger molecule. And when I say more molecules, so I would use something like in our Palmitra brand, what we have is we'll have it as an N plus. So it's an N level and then it's a plus. So that means that if it's a 3N I'm using, it's going to be a level 3 natural color. And then boom, it's a little bit more in natural color 3 that's added on there. So if you're looking at it with your natural eye, it actually looks like a little bit like level 2 because it's so much energy you're putting in there. So any other hair that's already in the natural level 3, it will start to look a little darker. So just be mindful when you're using your plus series, understand that it works better if you test it out by saying if she's going for a level 8, choose a level 9 because it's going to give you a level 8 because it's just extra. Okay?
Another one is, what's your favorite texture and type of hair for private label extensions?
I've said this over and 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 over again, and I'm going to tell you many, many more times. And as a matter of fact, I bet you a bunch of people in this room will be able to tell you what is my favorite color. My favorite texture. Vietnamese. I say it over and over again. I love it. It is such a great texture that I'm using when I'm using for, it's closer to the black girl, formation. It's closer to her quartzes. The quartzes is closer to her. The feel is closer to her. Do I use the Brazilian body wave or Brazilian straight or Brazilian loose wave? Yes, I do. I will. I have. But when I'm trying to use or have that more natural, comparison, I'm going to go with the Vietnamese. And I'm going to end up talking my customer into going to it. The only time I will not do that is if she is already living in a finer state. If she's living in a finer state, then I'm going to go with the Indian raw because she's more finer. The Vietnamese is going to be a bunch of hair. Next question. Great questions, by the way. Guys, this is a test for us. And the test is that we have, full on camera crew that's in here watching me do this. Mikey is over here in the corner. So if that's who you hear in the background, answer the questions. You have Marcus over here filming us at the same time. And so, once we get a really good handle of this, I'll be able to look down and see those answers at the same time I'm working and be able to do this by myself in the room. Well, with the camera guy over there, but yes. Go ahead with the question. You had one more, didn't you?
No, that's it so far.
Yes, perfect, wonderful. So, guys, I will tell you, let's go ahead and wrap this up because looking at this time, I'm not going to sit here with you guys and let me process this through the whole time and you kind of like wait and hang out with that. When it comes to doing some things like applying color, non-oxidative colors where you can see results instantly, we'll do that together where you can see that. But when it needs time for it, energy for it to process and we have enough time to do that, then we'll jump in and we'll do that. But today, I'm just gonna have this done. We're gonna see the end results, and I'm gonna post those end results, what they look like after we rinse them out, because I do need a bowl to do that too. So we'll post those, and we'll show you what the end results will be. Cool beans? Perfect. This has been fun. I hope it has been very, very informative for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is not the last time. We're gonna do this quite often. We're gonna make sure that we get here, show you all the information we can, use so many different products. Remember, I told you, Mikey bought a whole bunch of products, like 400 different types of products, okay, yesterday. So we're gonna use them all. We're gonna use everything. And then we'll talk about what products you can use to help make sure that you bring back and revitalize the hair after you've taken it through a drying service. For the young lady who asked me the question about the bleach bag, we'll get into that tomorrow. Okay? Thanks, guys. Bye.